Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Nammazhwar ki jai. So today, from the pastimes of Ranganathji's devotees, we are going to speak something about the great devotee. He is known as Nammazhwar. Yesterday we discussed about the pastime of Nammazhwar Moksham. So today we will discuss something about the history of Nammazhwar, because in the scriptures it is said that the history of Nammazhwar will purify from all our sinful reactions. It is very auspicious. Because in the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, it is mentioned that great devotees of the Satya Yuga, they will appear in the Dravida Desha, especially in the South India, Tamil Nadu. They are Narayana Parayana. Kridadishu Prajarajan, Kalo Ichandi Sambhavam, Kalo Bhavishyanti. Like that one sloga is there. So in that sloga it is mentioning about the three rivers, Kaveri, Tamraparani and Kritamala. So in the bank of the Tamraparani river, this Nammazhwar was appeared. So even Chaitanya Charitamrita also mentioned about that Tamraparani river, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited that Navatirupati. These are mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 219th sloka. Tamraparni Snan Kari, Tamraparni Tire, Navatirupati Deki, Bole Kuduhale. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited all the 9 temples of Lord Vishnu at Navatirupati. So it's very holy place, Navatirupati. It is from SriRangam around 300 km towards south. So in the Shastra it is very nicely glorified about that place. In those days that place is called as Pandya Desha. So this very purifying history of Nammazhwar. So let us discuss a little bit about Nammazhwar. In the Pandya Desha there is a beautiful river called Tamraparani. On the bank of this Tamraparani there is a place called Alvar Tirunagari. Because Nammazhwar appeared there, therefore that place is still now it's called Alvar Tirunagari. This Alvar Tirunagari also mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada, very specially glorifying Alvar Tirunagari, is saying about how yearly once all the 9 temple deities, they will all come on Garuda. Prabhupada is giving that description. So in that place, in that Alvar Tirunagari, previously it is known as Kurugur, Tirukurugur. Because the kings of the Kuru Vamsha, Kuru dynasty, they have ruled this place. Therefore, this is also called Kurugur. Also, there is a king called Kuruga, also ruled this place. Therefore, also this is called Kurugur. Also, other reason is that Brahmaji, he wanted to perform severe austerities for the welfare of the whole earth. Then the Lord told him to do this tapasya, austerity in the bank of this Tamraparani. So Brahmaji agreed, Kuru me tava vachanam, I will do that like that. Therefore also the word came Kurugur. So therefore that holy place is called Kurugur, Tirukurugur. In Sanskrit they call as Tirukurugapuri. In that Kurugapuri Kshetra, there were some great devotees, they were born. So that place, in that temple, there is a beautiful temple, temple of Adinatha. That Adinatha temple is the most famous temple in the Alvar Tirunagari, very beautiful temple, huge temple. And in a huge temple there is a deity like Balaji. One hand is showing the Abhayahasta, other than is seeing the Kadivarata Hasta, giving charity like that form deity, along with Sri Devi, Bhudevi and Neela Devi. So that is the deity in that Alvar Tirunagari. So in that place, so in the Shastra there is a description about how Nammazhwar's ancestors were. They are all great devotees. So the 7 generation names are given in the Shastras. So it is said that there is one great devotee called Srimad Vibhudiradhendra. Srimad Vibhudiradhendra, one devotee. Vibhudinadhendra, one devotee. And he was very pious devotee. His son was Dharmadhanu, because he is always in protecting the, uplifting the dharma. Therefore he is called as Dharmadhanu. And he had a son called Chakrapani. This Chakrapani, he was a very wealthy person. He spent all his wealth to serving the devotees and the brahmanas and cows. And this Chakrapani, he has a son called Achyuta. This Achyuta is very wealthy and very famous person. And he has a son called Sumadi. And Sumadi is a very beautiful person. He has a red beautiful eyes. So a very well known famous person. And this Sumadi has a son called Bhutkari. Bhutkari also very beautiful person. And this for Bhutkari, he has prayed for a son. Then he got a son called Kari. So this Kari, these all 7 generations, they are all great devotees of the Lord. So in that generation, Nammazhwar was born later. So this Kari, he was a rich king. So this Bhutkari was a very big king. So he want to get married his son, Kari. So this Kari, his qualities are very specially explained in the Shastra. He was like a King Dasharatha. He was very tejas person, very Maha Tejasvi. He had all the good qualities. He is very intelligent and he was full of devotion to Lord Vishnu. He was very wealthy person and very brave person. He gave always pleasure to his parents. And he had fully fixed in his dharma, duties and qualities. So there was a grand arrangement for his marriage. So for that marriage, just like the SriRamachandra's marriage, like that his father Bhutkari arranged itself. So those days in Kerala, there is a place called Thiruvan Parisaram. It is very near from the Alvar Tirunagari. Because in Kerala, Kerala temples are called Malaynad. Malaynad Divyadesham, they say. So among this Malaynad Divyadesham, there is one place called Tirupati Saram. Thiruvan Parisaram, they say. And it is very shortly known as Tirupati Saram. Even now the temple is there. There is a deity called Sri Vallabha, Tiruvazh Marban. That's a deity. In that place, there was one nice devotee. The devotee's daughter name is Udayanangai. So this Kari, Kari's father, he arranged a marriage between the Kari and Udayanangai. The Bhutkari arranged for the marriage of his son Kari and Udayanangai. So that marriage is very nicely explained in the Shastra, how the marriage was. It is so much of flags, so much of the torana, arches were made with flowers, so many music instruments were played, and so much of fragrant waters are sprinkled all over the street, just like in Ayodhya, and full of flower decorations, just like Sita Rama's marriage was. Very grand marriage happened in Tirukkurugur. The marriage between Kari and Udayanangai. So in that way, the great marriage, the Kari went and married Udayanangai. They came back to the village called Tirukkurugur. Then after that, one day, this Kari, he went to his wife's home at Thiruvanparisaram. So while he is returning back, there was another beautiful place called Tirukkurungudi. Amazing place, Tirukkurungudi. That is Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is mentioned as Mahendragiri Parvatam. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Parashuramji there itself, in that temple, Mahendragiri Parvat. There is a mountain also, beautiful temple in the downstairs, and from there if you go up, sometimes there is vehicles are there, 4-wheeler vehicle, like a big, very no road at all, very bad road, but in that the vehicle is a very risky road, but we can walk and go also, but very nice experience it is. On the top of the mountain there is a river called Dakshina Sindhu river. It is said there is one deity, and that deity is worshipped by the Gandharva, Siddha, Kinnara, Kimpurusha, like that. So the people are ordinary human beings are not allowed to go there even evening after 3 o'clock. Up to 3 o'clock we can go, and we have to come down before 3 o'clock. Because there we can see, on the way only we can see so many elephants, tigers and all these things. So demigods are worshipping that deity. It's a very thick forest. That is the place where Parashuramji is still living. It's called Mahendragiri. And Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Charitamrita, that place is mentioned, where Mahaprabhu met Parashuramji itself. So under that mountain there is a place called Tirukkurungudi. very beautiful deity, very huge temple. We can't see anywhere in the world such a temple, such a huge temple with a beautiful deity, bluish color Lord, and very systematically they follow all the rituals, and the standard of the deity worship is very high. We can't wear shirt or any western dress into the temple. Everybody have to remove the shirt while entering into the temple. And evening time, while they do arati, they will play flute for the Lord. They will light all the lamps in the temple, and all the Brahmins, they will stand in the front. Next, the Brahmin Mataji. Still, that Varnashram is very strictly followed there, and they are all very kind-hearted people. Very nice, the people are there. Even then, finally, the next, the gents, then the Matajis. Everybody will follow in a perfect line while the kirtan is going on. They will play flute. They will play conch. They will play different music instruments for the pleasure of the Lord. Some of them they blow conch for the Lord. In that way, and after that the prasad was distributed to all the devotees, even now. So Lord, there is no electricity is used in the temple, full of lamps only. When the pujari, while he do arati, he will raise the lamp up to his face. That time we have to observe the face. So in the darkness we can see the reddish lips of the Lord. Very beautiful place. So in that temple, this Kari and Udayanangai, they went to pray to the Lord. Then when they prayed, oh my dear Lord, so kindly give us a son. Because recently they got married. They prayed for a good, great devotee son, they prayed. Then they are so pure-hearted, so Lord immediately reciprocate. Very soon I am going to appear as your son. The Lord told. In this way to reciprocate to Kari and Udayanangai. So they came back to their village called Tirukkurugur, and by the order of the Lord, Tirukkurungudi Nambi, in the Vaikuntha Loka there is a commander-in-chief in Vaikuntha, is called as Vishwakshena. Lord ordered you, Vishwakshena, you go and appear in the womb of Udayanangai. Then by the order of Vishwakshena, Lord, in the Tirukkurungudi Nambi, Vishwakshena came in the womb of Udayanangai. Then in an auspicious muhurta, meanwhile what happened, no? This Udayanangai, she also prayed always. She was, whenever she go into her home, she was always praying for a child to the same Nambi deity, Tirukkurungudi Nambi. There the Lord is called as Vaishnava Nambi. That's a separate story we will tell. So many stories are there. So then, Lord is called Nambi. So the Nambi, with the Nambi, the Udayanangai are also always praying for a child. Then one auspicious day, she became pregnant, and in the year in the Kali Yuga, the date also very exactly given, which nakshatra, when he was born. It is said in the beginning of the Kali Yuga, just the 45th day after the Kali Yuga, the Nammazhwar was born itself. The year name is Pramadi Varsha. The first month and 13th day, there is a Vaikasi Masa, Vishaga Masa. Vaishaga Masa, Sukla Paksha, Chaturdashi day, one Friday, in the Vishaga Nakshatra, in Kataka Lagna, like a sun appeared, like that the Nammazhwar appeared to this Kari and Udayanangai. For that family, Nammazhwar was appeared itself in that family. So in order to protect the child, at that time only, the Adisesha, in Adisesha, he was personally appeared in that village, in the Tirukkurugur temple only, as a tamarind tree. Tamarind tree, to give shadow to protect the Nammazhwar child itself. Nammazhwar as child. So, in that way, Nammazhwar was appeared in that beautiful place. But this child was very special child. He was so beautiful child, so tejasvi. He was, because Shata, they gave the name as Shatakopa. Shatakopa means, Shata means a gas. Kopa means angry. Shatakop. Because the Nammazhwar, normally when the child, when he in the womb, after 10 months, a gas will come, Shata gas, that will push the child out from the mother's womb. But this Nammazhwar, he stayed against the Shatakopa. He stayed for 3 more months in the womb of the Shatakopa's mother. Then later he appeared, therefore they named him as Shatakopa. And this child, he never cried like other child. He was very smiling when he appeared into the earth. So it is said that when he appeared into the earth, he was seeing the whole world, because just Kali Yuga started, no? whole world is attacked by the Kali, seeing that effect of the Kali Yuga is directly a personality from the spiritual world, he just closed his eyes itself. He don't want to see the Kali attacked world. It is in just beginning of the Kali Yuga. He closed his eyes itself. Then it is said he was born like a Prahalad with all the, just like Prahalad was when he was born itself, he was all devotion, everything was there with Prahalad Maharaj. Just like that Nammazhwar also, he was also born with all devotee, all devotional qualities. He was totally faultless like a sun, and he was all the time meditating on the Lord in the childhood itself. Just like not like an ordinary child, he was not passing stool or urine or anything. Only fragrance was from his body, no stool, no urine, and he never drink any milk or water or anything, this child. Such a transcendental child with full of effulgence, always a glow from his body. So in this way, this child was totally meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. He is completely given all his responsibility completely to the lotus feet of the Lord. This way the child was appeared. So the parents, they thought this child to be the Supreme Lord only. So they left their all desire as a mamata. No? They didn't thought this is our child. They thought this is a Devada child. She is not eating any food, not passing urine, not passing stool. So they took this child to the temple of Adinath. Because in that village, that is the main temple of Adinath. It is said Adinath, how he is? Adinath is like a lotus-eyed Lord holding a Shanga Chakra. He removes all the sin of his devotees. He is having a Varada Hasta and Abhaya Hasta. He is along with Sri Devi, Bhudevi and Neela Devi. He is like a full newly made cloud, like a bluish colored Lord. Meghasham. He is wearing a Pidambara Dhoti. He never gives up his devotees. All the time protecting the devotee. So in the temple, the parents went to that temple. And they went to the temple and they gave this child to the Lord. Because they can't do anything to this child. He is not eating, not drinking, but the body is growing very nicely, not even speaking anything. In that way they made a golden cradle, and that cradle they kept that child. So they thought this is a Devada child. Then they left the child crawled, the child went into the temple. So they left the child to the Supreme Lord and they went back to home. Because this child was not at all speaking, so they understood this is something special, special personality. Then this child, he crawled and he went into the tamarind tree, where we told, no, the tamarind tree is already appeared, the Adisesha appeared to protect this child. So this child went into the tamarind tree and there was a small hole. He just went and sat in a yoga mudra. So it sat in the yoga position. So this child never spoke a word for 16 years. 16 years, every day his body was growing. He was meditating on the Supreme Lord Krishna's lotus feet. The meditations on the lotus feet of Krishna, that is his food, and he is enjoying the nectar of the thoughts of the remembrance of the Lord. He never ate any food. In that way, but his body was growing and glowing. Very special tejas was there in his body. So in that way, 16 years was passed by. So people thought whether he is a blind or he is a dumb or deaf, like that. Sometimes the parents also worried about him because he is not speaking, not eating anything, whether he is a dumb or he is a deaf or like that. In that way, the parents are also a little bit worried. But they know this child is growing, is a Devada child, like that. So in that way, 16 years he was stayed in the tree. At the time, in that village, there was another one devotee called Madhura Kavi Alvar. He was another Alvar near to the Adinath temple. So that place is very beautiful place, that there are 9 temples are there in and around that Alvar Tirunagari. So next to the Alvar Tirunagari temple, there is a place called Tirukkolur. There is a very beautiful pastime also connected to the temple. So in that village, there was in a Brahmana family, this Madhura Kavi, he was born. And when he was born, he was a very high class, first class Brahmana devotee. He was walking on a field, and opposite to him a cow came. There was a very small narrow path, both sides was very deep like water was there on 2 sides. So when he was crossing that area, suddenly the cow came in the opposite side. So in order to give way to this Madarakavi Alvar, that cow suddenly fell into that deep pitch. So the cow died there. So Madarakavi Alvar felt very sad in his heart. Hare, because of me this cow was died. I should do something to prayashita. I got a cow killing sin. So Madarakavi Alvar, he went on a pilgrimage. He went on a pilgrimage when he was young. He went to Vrindavan, he went to Ayodhya, he went to Dwarka, he went to all the holy places. Then finally when he reached Ayodhya, he was searching for a guru to take initiation and get guidance in his spiritual life. Then in one direction from the south side, he seen like a big light. So he could not understand from where this light is coming. He was running towards the direction. Because as if the light is like a big palace is on a fire, how it will be. So like that, where is that fire is coming from? He started walking towards the direction of that fire. He walked and walked and walked. Every day night he will see that light, but he could not identify where it is. He just kept on walking. He came from the north he came to Tirupati, then he came towards south, he came to SriRangam, then he walked to Madurai, then he walked, finally he came and reached that particular tree in which Nammazhwar is sitting in a yogic posture. So finally he understood that this all effulgence and the light is coming from the Nammazhwar only. Then when he came before Nammazhwar, he could not understand whether this person is alive or dead or what, like that. Then he took a stone and he just threw it in front of him to create some noise. The stone fell down and it created some noise. Then suddenly, first time Nammazhwar opened his eyes like this. When Nammazhwar has opened his eyes, he offered immediately this Madarakavi Alvar. He offered his Dandavat Pranam to Nammazhwar. Then he asked this question first time. Sittatin settadu vaitil siriyadu pirandal yettai tindru enge kidakkum. This Madarakavi Alvar asked to Nammazhwar. So Nammazhwar, first time he opened his mouth and told, Attai tindru ange kidakkum. Nammazhwar opened his mouth. First time he gave the answer. So the question was actually, the settadu vaitil means that body is a dead matter. So within this dead matter, if the living entity, the soul, if we enter into the deadly matter, what the soul will do? Yettai tindru, what it will eat and what it will do. So for that, it's a very deep spiritual question. We can't explain so much about that. Then Nammazhwar in reply he gave, Attai tindru ange kidakkum. That means that soul will stuck up in this material body. He will just try to enjoy the pleasures and pains of this material world, and he will get stuck up in that body only. In that way Nammazhwar gave the answer. But that answer, it enlightened Madarakavi Alvar. So Madarakavi Alvar considered him to be his guru. His only guru and his only God also. He never even depended on the God also. He totally meditating on his guru. He is everything for me. In that way, Nammazhwar instructed him spiritually. Then Madarakavi Alvar glorified him and worshipped him very nicely. In that way, he is spending his time only in worshipping Nammazhwar. In that time, from the Lord of the Supreme Lord in the Vaikunta, he came and gave darshan to Nammazhwar. Not only the Lord of the Vaikunta, along with him, all the Nityasuri, the eternal associates of the spiritual world, they all came from the heavenly planets and different planets. They all came to take darshan of Nammazhwar. They also gave darshan to Nammazhwar. So it is said when the Lord of Vaikunta was appeared, that time this Nammazhwar sung 4 very special scriptures. They are called as Thiruvaimozhi, Thiruviruttam, Thiruvasiriyam and Periyattirumozhi. In this way 4 great literature was born from the mouth of Nammazhwar. So at that time it is said the deities like Ranganatha, Tirupati Balaji and Kallalagar, all these deities, they all came in front of Nammazhwar and they requested, they all wanted a song from Nammazhwar itself. The first deity appeared in front of him was Kallalagar, the Rishabhadri Parvata, where Mahaprabhu met Paramananda Puri. That temple is, there is also a very beautiful temple in South India. In South India we can see very beautiful, wonderful temple. Most of the famous temples are visited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in Madurai there is a temple called Alagar Kovil. There the Chaitanya Charitamrita is mentioned as Rishabhadri Parvat. So there the deity's name is Paramaswami. That Paramaswami, he came before Nammazhwar and gave him darshan. And he requested, can you sing a song on me also? Then Nammazhwar beautifully glorified 10 songs about him. Then Ranganaji came, can you sing a song on me? So in that way all the deities, 32 temple like Ranganaji, Balaji, then the deity of Thiruvanparisaram, that deity, then the 13 deities of the Kerala, they all came. Then the Thirukannapuram Saurirajan came. The Ara Amudan from Kumbakonam came. Like this, the important deities, all the deities all came. They are all standing in front of, they all came and personally gave darshan to Nammazhwar. So what a great devotee must be Nammazhwar. Because generally the devotees will go and stand in the line to get the darshan of Tirupati Balaji or Ranganaji or like that. But here, just to see the Nammazhwar, all the deities are standing in the line. So there is such a devotee, because it is said Nammazhwar is always observed in Krishna's pastimes of Vrindavan itself. Therefore there is a saying, Kannan Kailinai Nannum Manamudayur Innum Tirunamam Tinnam Naraname. So in that way, when all the devotees are appeared in front of him, Nityasuris and Vaishnavas also appeared. That time Nammazhwar glorified, oh let there be the devotees everywhere. Puliga Kaliyum Kandavun. There is a great personality is going to appear and he is going to preach about the Nama Sankirtan. That time the devotees will dance, their leg will touch to the head. Such a way they will dance. In that way he sung one song. So the Sri Vaishnavas, they say it is all about Ramanujacharya. They glorified about the Ramanacharya, he will come. It is about Ramanacharya. But also there is a Gaudiya devotees, they are saying the Nammazhwar already spoken about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is a book also, one devotee, one Sri Vaishnava, he became ISKCON devotee. He also told about this. He clearly mentioning it is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That a great personality, he will do Nagar Sankirtan, Kirtan, he will spread everywhere the Nama Sankirtan, and the devotees of his followers, they will dance in Nagar Sankirtan. That is particularly about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is like that. So in this way, Nammazhwar gave very wonderful prediction also, and he gave very wonderful Kirtan in the form of Divya Prabandham, Thiruvaimozhi and all these songs he gave. So in that way, all the deities, so even now if you go to that particular place, you can see the tamarind tree. Although all the other tamarind trees, the night time they all leaf will shrink, they'll sleep. But this tamarind tree under which Nammazhwar stayed, that is always open, even in the night. I once went and I took video of that, how the trees are not, leaves are not closing in the night time. So under that tree, there's a very nicely they constructed, full stone construction. They mentioned the deities' name, which are the 32 deities came to take darshan of Nammazhwar. Then it is said that Madhura Kavi Alvar, he requested Nammazhwar to give a deity of him. Then Nammazhwar told, you just collect the water from the Tamrabarani river and you boil that water, you will get the deity. Then under the order of Nammazhwar, Madhura Kavi Alvar collected some water from the Tamrabarani. Tamra means copper in Tamil also, and so in Hindi also Tamba is copper. No? So therefore the Tirunelveli water naturally it contains copper itself. So the Tamrabarani river water they boiled. Then from that boiling of that water, a beautiful deity appeared with a Tridanda. Tridanda he was holding. But Nammazhwar was remaining as a brahmachari, he never took sannyas and all. He lived for 35 years in this world. But the deity was Tridanda, he was holding a Tridanda. Then Madhura Kavi Alvar requested his guru, who is this personality? Then Nammazhwar told, this is the Bhavishyad Acharya. He is a great personality, he is going to appear, he is Ramanuja, he is going to spread the Bhakti cult around the Bharatavarsha. So he is going to appear like that. Then they gave the deity to Madhura Kavi Alvar. Then the Madhura Kavi Alvar he gave to his disciple. Finally this came to Yamunacharya. Then that story we already told, how the Bhavishyad Acharya deity. But then next again they boiled the water from that Tamaravarni water. Then the next appeared the deity, that was the Nammazhwar's deity. A beautiful deity, a small deity in a sitting form. So that deity still we can see in that Navatirupati temple, Alvar Tirunagari. So there they have a Garuda Dvaja Stamba for the deity. So that Nammazhwar deity, that used every year in that at the time of before Ramanujacharya and the time of Ramanujacharya, every year they bring the deity from Navatirupati from Tirunelveli to SriRangam in order to celebrate the Vaikunta Ekadashi festival. Then one time at the time of Ramanujacharya, due to the Muslim invasion and other things, they could not bring that Nammazhwar deity to SriRangam. So at that time Ramanujacharya, he installed this deity in the SriRangam temple, which is near to the Garuda Alvar, that little big deity of Nammazhwar, also a small deity of Nammazhwar. From that time onwards, the Nammazhwar deity, the festival will celebrate in SriRangam itself. They are not bringing that deity of Nammazhwar from Alvar Tirunagari. So in that way the Nammazhwar's deity was appeared in the Alvar Tirunagari. So Nammazhwar, he was totally observed in the pastimes of Vrindavan. He considered himself as a gopi. Sometimes he considered himself as a mother of gopi and all the time crying. He is crying to Ranganath all the time. Kangulum, Pagalum, Kantuil, Ariyal, Kangalai, Kannir, Tudaikum. Very nice songs are there. That one song is saying, is saying to Ranganath, hey Ranganatha, just like a gopi's mother is praying. Gopi's mother is saying to Lord, what you did to my daughter. She is all the time crying. She is crying in the meditating on you. The tears are rolling from his eyes like a river. In that way, what you did, what you are going to do to my daughter. Like that. In that way, Nammazhwar was always observed in the thoughts of Krishna and Vrindavan. Therefore, they say Krishna, Krishna, Trishna. Nammazhwar is in the bhavas of gopis. Therefore, he is the supreme topmost Alvar, because his bhakti is the greatest bhakti. And it is said once Nammazhwar was hearing the particular one song he was reciting about how that Krishna, after stealing the butter, he was bound up to the rope. So he suddenly, meditating on the pastime, he went on ecstasy. He went on ecstasy. For 6 months he was totally unconscious, for 6 months. Similarly, 3 times Nammazhwar became like unconscious, 6 months. Each time we will go to ecstasy for 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. Another time they were saying about Rama. Anyone learned, they should learn none other than Ram. Then he meditated on Ram, he went on 6 months. Another time he was singing another one sloga, that time also he went to 6 months, he went on ecstasy itself. So, in that way, Nammazhwar was a great devotee, he was very dear to SriRanganath. So in that song, the 1000 songs Thiruvaimozhi, that is mainly for Ranganath, glorification of Ranganath. So, one great is, and then after his Nammazhwar, he disappeared in his 35th year. Then his disciple Madhurakavi Alvar, he just spread the glories of his Guru. So it is in that literature it is said a devotee should glorify his Guru, spread the glories of his Guru everywhere. So in that way this Madhurakavi Alvar, he was just glorifying Mother Nammazhwar everywhere. Nammazhwar, Shatagopa, Jai Shatagopa, he is the greatest devotee, like that he was glorifying, and his songs are very famous. So when he was glorifying in that way, so there was one great poet called Kambar, his disciples were there. They were not, he had some 300 disciples. He is also a very great scholar, Kambar. He wrote Ramayana in Tamil. So then his disciples, 300 of them, they are coming in the opposite way. They are spreading Kambar's glories. Then Madhurakavi Alvar, he was glorifying in the opposite side. Then the Kambar's disciple, they told, stop this. You should not do. Who is Nammazhwar? That Kambar is the great devotee. How come you are glorifying about Nammazhwar? If you want to glorify, then you should prove that. Then in Madurai there is a place called Sangappalagi. There is a kind of wooden platform. That platform, only a person who defeated all other person, they can sit, all other poets. So then there were great 300 people who are sitting on that platform. If any person who is not defeated other, if he is unqualified, if he sit on that platform will pull that person into down itself. Inside it is in the temple of Meenakshi, there is a pond. Within that pond there is that platform is there itself. On those days, Sangappalagai in Tamil they call. Then Madurai Alvar, he just wrote from the songs of Nammalvar songs, one song he wrote in a palm leaf, and he went and kept that palm leaf on that platform where the 300 others were sitting. When Madurai Alvar kept the song of Nammalvar in that platform, that Sangappalagi, that platform, it pulled all the others into water itself. Then they all agreed, Nammalvar is a great devotee, his song is the best. Then this Kambar went to SriRanganath. Kambar came to Alvar Tirunagari and he apologized to Nammalvar and he get his blessings and he came to SriRangam. When he came to SriRangam with his Tamil composed Ramayana, it's very famous Kambar Ramayana. That time our Ranganaji Namperumal asked Kambar, did you sing about my Alvar? Nam Alvarai Padiniro means Nam Alvarai. Previously Nam Alvar is known as Shatagopa, but the Namperumal he gave the name Nam Alvar. Nam means our Lord. Nam Perumal means our Lord. Nam Pillai means our child. Like that Ranganaji only, Namperumal only gave to the Shatagopa the name Nam Alvar. Our Alvar. Because he is very dear to Ranganath. So like that, the Nammalvar, the name was given by Namperumal. So he translated the whole Veda, 4000 Vedas into 4000 songs. It includes all the other Alvar songs also. Later we heard the story of Nadamuni, how when all the songs of the Alvar, when they sing, immediately they will, those who sing the song of the Alvar, they will immediately go back to Vaikunta. Then later the people started calling it as suicide songs. Then everyone they throwed all the songs into Tamravarni. Then Tamravarni gave only the 10 songs left. Then later how Nadamuni went to Nammalvar and prayed to the deity of Nammalvar. Then Nammalvar's deity, he appeared to Nadamuni and gave all the 4000 songs back to Nadamuni. That is what even now in SriRangam, in front of Namperumal, they will sing these 4000 songs in the Adhyayanotsava, all the prayers and all the Sri Vaishnavas, even now they are chanting that prayers given by Nammalvar. So Srila Prabhupada also glorified Nammalvar in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, saying that Shatagop, Prabhupada saying that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita when he speaks about SriRangam. Shri Nammalvar ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.